Welcome, welcome. Welcome once again to EOB Salon Talk. EOB Salon Talk is much more than salon talk. It's about conversation that actually happens in the salon. Marriages, relationship, finances, politics, just to name a few. Let's talk. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to tonight's episode of EOB Salon Talk. Tonight we have a special guest with me tonight, none other than Did He Run the City, Mark the Barber. So do me a favor, help me. Can you please introduce yourself to my guest?
How y'all doing? My name is Mark the Barber. I'm known as Mark the Barber. Did Run the City. I'm a well-known promoter. I would probably say the top 5 promoters in Westchester. You know, get to know me.
Get to know me. So how you doing today, Mark? Welcome anyway. Welcome. Is this your first time?
It's my first time.
Well, let's do it the proper way. Cheers. Welcome.
Yes, I feel welcomed already. Yeah.
So how are you today? How are things going?
It was a nice weekend. I can't
So,
complain.
you know, as a promoter, that's the first question I'm going to ask you. How are things going? So we've met on couple occasions. I know you used to be my barber. You shaped me up a little time.
Yeah.
You know, so,
Yeah.
but tonight's conversation is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a little bit deeper. It's going to be good. See, I have notes today. All right? I have my notes today. Couple things. I know you as a barber, right? And this is EOB Salon Talk. So I want to just dive right in and jump with that conversation there. As a barber, what are some of the things that has happened? Great things, funny things. You know, what are some of your greatest experience as a barber?
Oh man, over the last 10 years, it's a long list. But I could say some of the craziest things I've seen happen were customers trying to fight over a haircut. They ready to, you know, they actually went outside, destroyed somebody's vehicle. I've seen females fighting in a barbershop over somebody. I've seen many different things over the last 10 years.
Oh, wait, we may need to stick to this conversation. wait, let me see my questions. We may need to stick to this. So you've been having the same fun I've been having here, right? But what have been some of your favorite things, though? So we've seen some stuff that happened. I know you are a celebrity barber. Yeah. What are some of the favorite things you've seen?
The favorite things I've seen was being able to know that your name is large where celebrities are hitting you in your DMs. You have managers calling you for their artists to get a haircut or get a lineup, and they're actually coming to you, to your shop, or they actually sending an Uber for you to come to their hotel so you cut their client. Yeah.
So if that's the case, then I'm going to ask you then. I'm going to name drop. You know, that's what we do here. Who are some of the celebrities you've been working with?
Over the last couple of years, it's been like people like, you know, Snoop from The Wire, Zoe Dollars, guys from Dipset, Hell Rel. It's a few of them. I've also cut Trump. Everybody knows Trump. Trump.
Yeah, he's been a guest here. He's been a guest.
It's been a few.
Okay, well, good. So why did you decide to get into this profession? I could tell you why I decided to be a hairstylist, right? So why did you decide to be a barber?
It was, for me at first, it wasn't a decision. It was something that I felt like I grew into as a youth. Like I grew into it. Coming from my uncle is a barber, upstate New York, well-known barber. He started out, you know, I have cousins as barbers, you know, so I kind of grew into it, and then it became something that I felt like I could tackle as a task, and it just stuck with me.
And you're good at it because my sides be on point. I ain't even gonna lie, you be lining me up. I just have a problem with you though, because sometimes I can't find you because you're busy flying to places, but you know.
Low key,
I ain't gonna complain. You know, as long as you're making the money.
Absolutely.
But so I've known you doing haircuts because you've been one of my barbers. One of my most famous barbers, actually. So I've known you in that realm, but I also know you on like another level where we speak, we conversate, and we spoke about events. And then I realized you are a party promoter. How did that come about?
Well, knowing that I built my name to be a certain way as far as not just a regular barber. You know, you have these barbers out here. They're just a regular barber. There's barbers. There's cutting here. What I did now, I started linking with certain people. Like what I would do, I would go to different events. Oh, that's Mark the barber. Oh, you know, and it built from there.
So you creating your brand.
Exactly. Started a brand with my name, and it just took off. And the first opportunity I got to actually do a major party, it was with Designer before he got popping. And that was I want to say 2013, 2014, and you know that was my first major celebrity party, and from there it just took a flight of its course.
It took off. So let me ask you this question: what is one thing you love about what you do?
The most thing I love about
it,
the promotion side of it is knowing that I can bring people together, no matter what's going on, no matter the storm of what they're facing. They could come out, have a good time, good vibes, good energy. They leave. I gotta go to the next Mark the Barber party. You know, it's always something to talk about, and you know, you come there, you leave there, and with a good vibe. You know, you want to come back, versus going somewhere else and I never want to go there again. That guy, he don't know what he's doing. With me, I like to go around my parties. How you doing? You know what I'm saying? And make people feel welcome.
So if I come to one of your parties, you know, I want to be, you know, so can I come in and be escorted in, have a VIP section?
Of course.
Do we have like VIP section?
Of course.
So it's all bottle popping?
Of course.
Hey, I'm coming to one of your parties. Hey, when is the next one? Because I'm coming.
My next major one, I'm working on actually two major parties right now. Two major parties right now. Gearing towards probably the end of November into December. Yeah, so.
Make sure it's around my birthday time. You know, I'm a Christmas baby, so you know how that is.
Your birthday is in December. That's a fact. Yeah.
What do people misunderstand about you most? You think?
I think people misconstrue the fact of how generous I am, and I like to give people chances, and I like to help people, especially put money in their pockets. As far as especially being in the light that I'm in, you know. I can remember a few years ago when I had Sue's Rendezvous on the Tuesdays. All the main artists in Westchester, I made a platform for them to come and perform, and that was every Tuesday. I could tell you, I had nights in different areas, different clubs where I put other people on with me to make money. So I think, bottom line, people tend to misconstrue how nice I am, and it's like it comes off as if, oh, you know, we can try to use Mark, or we can try to, you know, but you know, I've always been 10 steps ahead, and I always leave people rope to hang themselves. You know what I'm saying? So that's just what it is, and I don't, you know, I don't take it far. I just know the kind of person you are, know how to deal with you, and I just keep it as that.
I do believe in whatever we do in life, we gotta actually get lessons from it, right?
Of course.
So I'll ask you, what is one of your biggest failures, and what was the lesson you learned from it?
One of my biggest failures was, and it still haunts me every day. One of my biggest failures was, I got this, and this is a real life story. I got invited to the Wild 'N Out stage through Rick Ross and Groovy Lou, and
my dude.
I remember I got the invitation the day before, and they kept texting me. I was in the barbershop working, like I'm always working in the barbershop. And
was I one of the clients?
No, not that day.
Okay, good.
And I was supposed to leave Mount Vernon at about 3:30, I was told, and I ended up leaving at about 5. And by the time I got to the PlayStation Theater in Manhattan, I missed my slot. I missed that time. And when I saw Groovy and I saw Ross, they were so pissed. And I said to myself, that was a door that was set up for me, and I blew it.
Yeah, bro.
I blew it, and I told myself, never again.
What did you learn from it?
What I learned was that time is everything, and you gotta be punctual with time.
Time is everything, and you have to be punctual.
Absolutely.
And I would also use that I would also use that as a way to empower yourself. I would assume you use that as an empowerment and a way to empower yourself.
Yeah.
So looking back on that failure then, or that, because sometimes we look at things as failures, right? But sometimes things don't happen to you, happen for you.
Yeah, like a
because
lesson.
it actually, I would look at you and say, Mark, that probably motivate you to do
Yeah,
more, right?
absolutely.
And things are handed to you because at that point, Groovy and Rick Ross was handing something to you. Now I watch you working for stuff, right? So I would say, if you had to go back with all the experience that you've had so far, what would be one of your, what would you say to a younger you?
I would tell a younger Mark to be more diligent, and be more earnest in everything, and don't get too comfortable. Yeah, don't get too comfortable. Don't let up. Absolutely.
And then what also would you tell a young barber as a barber? As a person going into your field, as a hairstylist, I have a lot of things that I would probably say to a hairstylist, how to do it, how to not do it, how to, the patience they should have with the clients. Like, what advice would you give regarding our profession, I should say?
I would say, with regards to our profession as a young Mark, it would be to take your craft more seriously, and don't play yourself, don't second guess yourself, don't doubt yourself. Certain things happen. Some happen for a lesson, and some happen for a reason. So don't be hard on yourself. Just keep pushing, and keep going until you reach the mark.
Okay. What have you learned? I learned a lot of things as a hairstylist standing behind the chair. I think standing behind the chair is one of the most powerful things you could actually do.
It's the best.
And because I always say to my friends, I stand in a position of power, right? And me saying that is not to be arrogant or anything. It's just to be, it's a fact that I'm actually standing here listening to the person sitting in my chair, providing a service for them. So I'll ask you this question. What would be one of your most powerful moments standing behind the chair?
With that, it can't just be one because it happens on a regular basis. I won't lie to you.
Exactly.
I can tell you honestly, and I could attest to this, being that it happens so frequently. To be able to hear people's stories and things that they're facing in their personal life, and to be somewhat of a beacon to inspire, to uplift. I'm a very religious person. I believe in the Most High. So when I hear certain stories and I hear certain things that people are dealing with their kids or within themselves, within the family, that's why I feel like I'm so generous, not just with uplifting or encouragement, but also with trying to find a way to help somebody else, put them in different positions where they can, stand on their own 2 feet, instead of feeling like they're lost in life and they're at a point where there's no return. For me personally, I don't ever hide who I believe in and who I serve as a man, especially being a father.
Wow.
God is number one, and I can never say that I'm here without God. You know what I'm
Most High.
saying?
Yep.
I've always stood by that, and it's been many times where I've probably felt like He's left my side based off of things that I've done, things that I've entertained, but I can say that, for the most part, I've always dived into that when it comes on to, my customers or walking or people I encounter with on a regular basis.
I think most people misunderstand what we do as a service people. I call us the service people, right?
Yes.
Because sometimes we go home, and I give thanks to our spouses too, because sometimes we go home with different energies than we left home with. So I'm now, after 20-something years of doing this, learning how to let it go, how to breathe, how to meditate, how to release it. So I'm just now learning that through, after years of experience, how how do you decompress? How do you, because sometimes client comes in with so much issues. You know, how do you as a barber decompress from it? Because people say, this is salon talk, but this could be barber talk. Because I've been to get my hair done sometimes, and I've heard some conversation. Yes, I do get line up. I've heard conversation sitting in your chair.
Yes.
That I'm like, how do you decompress and go home with a different energy? How do you decompress?
Like you said, let's get back to what you said. You know, dealing with the service that we do and we give out to people, our clients, we take on different energies every day. You know what I'm saying? So, yes, we absorb. Sometimes we can absorb their energy. How you decompress, for me personally, is not. I don't go home with those burdens. Before I even come out my car, I actually try to take a breath. Even before even before I leave my shop, I go in the bathroom. Because here's the thing, and if anyone who knows me, I cut hair with gloves on. So I'm gonna give you an example.
I was wondering that one time, but anyway, go ahead.
I cut with my gloves on because when I put them on,
you want to absorb my energy.
Exactly. I put them when
great idea.
When I take them off, it's like after a long day's work. You know what I'm saying?
Wash your hands.
Wash my hand. Wash my face. Clean my fingers. Right? And I even brush my teeth in the bathroom. I have a toothbrush in the bathroom. You know what I'm saying? Because after eating, you work all day.
Right.
You eat. Mm-hmm. I brush my teeth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so I do all that.
We should practice that.
I do all that even before I even go in the house. When I go in the house, what I normally do, I have a bottle of alcohol with a spray bottle on it. And I spray throughout the house, especially with COVID. I spray throughout the house.
Oh yeah, you know, we're hairstylists and barbers, right? Yeah. You know, during COVID, we leave our stuff outside in the middle of the door, and your spouse asks, "Honey, why you coming in naked?" Mm-hmm. Oh no, that's just for COVID.
Yes, absolutely.
We get it, but you said COVID, which lead me to my next question.
Okay,
we're in sync here. How were you affected by COVID? Like as a barber and a promoter, how were you affected most by COVID?
I'm gonna be 100%.
Yeah, that's the only thing you're gonna do here on EOB Salon Talk.
And this is why I say, you see, when you put God first,
hey,
no doors can be shut. You know what I'm saying?
Preach, brother Mark.
through the whole pandemic, at first, a lot of people didn't know I caught it, and I actually stayed to myself for a little while.
Yeah, so did I.
You know, and after that, us being from the Caribbean, from Jamaica, you know, you hear about, about the home remedies and stuff like that.
Use a little white rum and stuff,
of course, ginger, all that stuff. And I aside from, what the doctors prescribe, I nursed myself back to my normal self. And,
right.
My phone, was, of course, that time frame, I kept curving calls,
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't up until probably 2 weeks later. I just started, so I'm gonna just push and go out there. I started putting on my gloves like I usually do. Put my 2 gloves on, masked up, put 2 masks on, my face mask.
Do your thing,
and,
boo.
And I was going into people's houses, cutting hair. I was going places I was going to New Jersey, Long Island. I was in Brooklyn. I was in Queens. I was White Plains. I was in Harrison. I was upstate New York. I was all over cutting hair. And by the grace of God, it happened at a time where people was like, "Oh man, Mark, you came in clutch." And as far as even with the party scene, yes, it put a damp on us, but through a cousin of mine, he had he found an area where we could, open up.
Do little things safely.
Safely. And he called me one day. It was a Sunday afternoon. He called me and he said to me, "Yo, cuz, what do you think about this pot?" And he was actually in the middle of setting it up. Building a nice little bar, whatever the case is in. I said, "Listen, man, it can go on. Something can happen."
Something could happen. And, so overall, I could say that you did well.
Yes, I spoke the words and I put the action behind the words.
But for me though, Mark, I'll say that's what people. I think this podcast is just for me to entertain people that I admire, because I admire your drive and I admire what you do and I admire. I like to be a person that sit in the cuff and observe people, right? We've talked about different things, and I speak stuff to people to hear what their ideas are and their mindset is. I do that a lot, actually. And what I like with you, I remember one day you were doing an event on Gramerton Avenue, and we were having a conversation. You said, you called me Ma, which I didn't like, but anyway. You said, no, I'm gonna do this. I'm a celebrity. I'm gonna this. But one thing I believe in, and I probably learned this a long time ago, you have to see yourself where you want to be in life.
Absolutely.
Right? And most people can't see themselves past where they are.
At a certain level, yeah.
What I love about you is you see yourself where you want it to be.
Yeah.
And I've never told you that.
Yeah.
And I looked at you one day and I did this to you. I did this to you and you said, thank you, ma'am. But I'm like, he didn't even know why I was doing that. I was doing that because I recognize that you see yourself where you actually want to be. And people may look at us. Sometimes I visualize my life in that way. I don't visualize my life and where I am right now. Because if you visualize your life, and I'll say this to people that's watching, sometimes your vision is bigger than the person sitting there. So don't share your vision.
Exactly.
Just keep visualizing.
Yes.
This is why I love a
Yes,
vision board. Because when I cut those pictures and put on a vision board, nobody know what it is. You know? And I love that you do that. I'm going to ask you one thing, right? Who are... Give me three of your most inspirational person. Three people that inspire you the most. And then I'm gonna tell you something after you told me those. Tell me those three.
I would say from three people that inspire me.
Doesn't have to be in any particular order.
Yeah,
There's three people that inspire you. It may be
For me-
hard to give me three, but start.
I am.
Start.
I'm gonna say for starters, number one, I would say because that's the route I came, so to speak. Even though it's way past my generation, but for me, for one, people gonna look at me when I say this crazy, like I'm crazy. But
No, I won't.
for me, Marcus Garvey.
Which is one of mine, actually.
Marcus Garvey.
Why? And do not give the same answer as me.
No, Marcus Garvey, because just like me, he was a visionary, and he saw us on a different. He saw us in a different light. He wanted better for the race, and he didn't stay stuck to how he was living.
So let me clarify this. Marcus Garvey is actually a national hero of Jamaica,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
And Marcus Garvey is one of one of our national heroes, but
Yes.
he's also one person that helped us to get to the mentality that we are today. People say a lot of other people, but I do admire who Marcus Garvey is, and I'm actually going to give a little notes and stuff on in my Instagram regarding Marcus Garvey, because I think he's one of those heroes that people look at and was like, oh, Marcus Garvey, but they don't understand the power, that he brings to us as a people.
Especially Jamaicans.
He fought for us and made us believe in stuff that most people couldn't see. He actually set visions.
Yes, I say the vision.
I just fell in love with you right now, even more. No, because most people never look at it like that. When we went to school, we look at who Marcus Garvey is and who Nanny and Samson. We know who the national heroes are in Jamaica. But Marcus Garvey for me and Nanny is one of mine too.
Yes.
So those two people are mine. Who's your next one?
My next one is it's crazy because for me they're one and two, Malcolm X and Dr. King. The reason I said Malcolm X, and I heard someone watching a documentary the other day, because if you know me, I'm a big person. I'm big on history. I love history.
That's right. Because without history, you won't know where you're from, so you won't know where you're going.
Exactly. So with Malcolm X he was speaking of the present in the sense of he wanted his people to wake up that time frame. And with Dr. King now, Dr. King spoke about the future. Instead of him staying stuck on what was going on presently in his era, he's talking about where he wants us to be. And I think with Marcus Garvey and Malcolm X, and if those who know about Malcolm X came from the same teachings as Marcus Garvey, because of his father.
You're well learned, sir.
Because of his father, and he followed the same principle with the teaching of Elijah Muhammad. So it took him that almost 40 years to teach that. And even though he said certain things and spoke out of turn and disregarded what the prophet said, I think he still accomplished what he was sent to do. And he was a person of action. And for him to do that, it made, at that time in the 60s and the 50s, it made black people, especially us being in Jamaica, say, we can fight. So for me, I'm a fighter. I'm a Cancer, I'm a Leo, so I believe in fighting for your right and fighting for what you actually want out of life. You don't
it's not going to be easy, but you're going to push through it.
You got to push through it. So
thank you.
That's for me. Those are my three heroes.
Thank you.
Those are my three.
Thank you.
I for the people watching this, they're probably gonna say some crazy celebrity rap or whatever. But for me, growing up in Jamaica and the 8 years I lived there and going to school there, that's all I done about was Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, Norman Manley,
Nanny. Don't be forgetting Nanny.
Nanny, you know what I'm saying? So
she my girl, honey. She my girl.
Those are those are my heroes.
But let me ask you: you cannot name drop without me asking you this famous question I like to ask on this podcast. If you drop those names, you got to give me your favorite quotes. Actually, you got to give me two, because with those names, you got a whole lot. Because that's where I get most of mine. But give me one of your favorite quotes now. Quotes. Doesn't have to be theirs, though.
Yeah, I know. I'm thinking right now. My mind is blank. I would say my favorite that I actually study from I was about 15 was the Dr. King, the I Have a Dream speech. That one, I have a dream. But the last portion of it, I have a dream that one day my 4 kids, will live in a nation that they will not be judged by the color of their skin, or by the color of their character. That part of that I Have a Dream speech was
what
that was
resonated with you.
That for me, that was the vision and the longevity of the work he's starting now, where it needs to be in the next 50, 60 years.
So now that's said, let me ask you this question. Mm-hmm. So with knowing who Malcolm X was, Marcus Garvey was, Dr. King was, what's Mark's vision? What's your dream? What's your vision? Your 5-year dream, your 5-year vision. What's your dream? What's your vision? Because when we follow these powerful people, I know you got some vision and some dream. I know some maybe a secret. Just drop a little bit.
Honestly, I'm gonna touch the bases of 1 and 2. One, my ultimate vision for me being Mark the barber, etc., etc. I want to be able to give back to my people. I want to, and this was something I pray to God about on a regular basis, and I know it's gonna happen because I see certain things keep happening. So it would, to be able to have the means to be able to provide for people who are in need and need that push to keep going. To send kids back to school. One of the person that I admire too is LeBron, and I say that because LeBron went to school with about 5 or 6 guys, 7 guys, and when he got to the point where he can be able to afford certain things, he sent his friends back to school, and each bought them cars, and so I look at things like that because that's a part of my vision.
I'm going to help you with that vision real quick.
Yeah.
So, I have the Giles Foundation, so you can start giving back that way, because we're about to have our holiday give back, so the kids may need a haircut, so you can start give back that way. So, we all, but you've done it before. You've come in and helped us with the kids and give haircuts and stuff.
Absolutely.
So I will tell you, rest assured, you've started the process. You've started the journey and giving back. One thing I'll ask, though, I know we've spoken about your favorite quotes, but this is EOB Salon Talk here. And I know you're Mark the barber. So how do you like to have your ladies here? Like, so, how are you opposed to the weave, the extension, the natural hair? Tell me about it. You're a barber, so I know, how do you like it, Mark?
For me, I love females that are 100% just natural. I don't like,
Oh, that's me, Mark.
and it's no offense. It's
I'm
no
just messing
offense.
with
I just feel like. Don't get me wrong. If you have
Yeah.
if you have a low cut and you have a low do, that's fine.
So if I shave my hair, you love me more?
Of course.
Okay, good. I'm shaving my
I
head
have,
tomorrow. Okay, good, Mark.
I have aunts that have ball haircuts. That have ball cuts. So I'm not against it. It's just as long as it fits your style and your face, I'm all for it. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe that a female who has natural hair, long natural hair, needs to get weave and get wigs and all that stuff.
But we like to change on you. So, with the gentleman, so you're going to touch on this relationship stuff and weave and what you like. So let me just say, you all like to have these different females. So I'm going to ask you this question. We do these different styles. So when we come home, today we're married. I'm Claudette today. Wait, no, I'm not Claudette today. I'm actually Suzette. I could be Suzette one day, Jane one day. You all love it. You love it. Admit it, Mark. You got to admit it. You love it. You like us to change it up, and we change it up sometimes just for you guys.
That's the part of being spontaneous.
Hey, see? I knew you liked the weave. I knew you liked the weave. But anyway, that was good. And I get that. We all have preference. But with all that's been said, I'm going to ask you this question. You cannot name Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, and Dr. King as your hero without me asking you this one question.
What's that?
What would you love to be remembered for?
Oh, wow. I was thinking about it the other day. That's crazy to ask me that. I want to be remembered for knowing that that Mark came and he conquered. Mark came and he did what he sought out to do in life. Growing up, I saw a lot of friends that passed on, friends that their life ended and nothing stood beside memories as far as like for example, Whitney Houston passed away and her passing was a national thing. And because she touched so many lives. And I'm not trying to compare myself to her, but
no, you're a Mark.
When I'm gone, I don't want just my family to feel it, or not feel it, but I don't want my family to be just my family to be touched. I want a whole nation to know that, this guy, whatever you want to call me, this guy, this man, this kid, this barber, whatever, actually conquered and did what he's supposed to do.
So with that being said, I'll ask you this question because a person that has that belief, I do have a similar belief, but I'll ask you this. Are you living in your purpose now, or are you living your dreams? That's a tricky question.
This is a very tricky question. I would say right now I'm living in my dream.
Right. Working towards your purpose.
Working towards my purpose. Absolutely.
There you go.
Absolutely.
See, and I love your answer because a lot of people will say to me, I'm living in my purpose.
Yeah.
My purpose, I am truly living my purpose. I've lived everything I've dreamed, name it, I've accomplished it in my lifetime. But I believe now I'm actually in purpose. The things I do now are with purpose. Meaning it's what God intended me to do, what I'm here on this earth to do. My job is to give back. My job is to make your life matter, is to make my life matter. If there's anything I could do for you, that's what my purpose is. We don't always want to live in our purpose because sometimes your purpose is never
it's never easy.
What we want it to be.
I
don't want to be giving back and I don't want to be doing that, but that's where we are. You know what I mean? And this is getting too sappy. Because I feel that little drippy hair coming and I refuse to cry on an interview with you. Let's cheers for a second. Cheers, Mark. Yeah, get me out of that fit. I'm not.
We talk about real stuff, and I'm gonna add to what you just said. And a lot of people don't realize this. And people can say what they want to say, and have their own interpretation of whatever. But facts is facts, and truth is truth. A lot of people are tied up in other people. And I say that because God will place something in someone so that your purpose can come
Preach,
out.
boy.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So that's why for me,
yes.
it means a lot for me knowing that I can be able to be someone of a hero to someone, wherein if they're in a situation they're stuck, God says, yo, go over there and give this person $100, $200, and from that $200, I'm actually sowing into their life. I'm giving something I'm actually what's the word? I'm
sowing a seed.
I'm sowing a seed into them, and that's gonna bring them out, because I've seen it happen many times.
I also believe we have to let our light so shine.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're letting your light shine, so I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But I'm going to get off this topic subject because I'm about to cry. And I promise myself I'm not crying on another interview. So let's have, what's your pros and cons about promoting? Let's just ask that question that way.
My pros, all right.
Thank you.
My pros and cons promotion, it will be the fact of knowing that people come to my events, especially out here in Westchester, that...
We're doing the pros?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a successful night.
Got it.
All my parties to be successful, even with some, even sometimes there may be a little drama, but and for the bottom line, it's always successful. People come back. The cons is what I don't like, because even when I do events outside of Westchester, it's not like that, and that's why I feel like the people out here need to stop the sense of entitlement. Just a few months ago, I did an event. I was doing, I was doing events on a weekly basis, and one of those nights, it was a gentleman that came in. This is one instant. A gentleman came in, and he didn't want to pay. And my door girl approached. She texted me. First of all, and
I know Mark.
Everybody, yeah, everybody that knows me, they feel like they can say I'm with Mark the barber or Mark's something good. Now, my door girl don't say. If my door girl knows me, and she says that Mark didn't tell me that, you have to pay.
See, but this is how I look at it too. When I'm supporting you, I'm supporting you.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm supporting you, your event is $2. I'm paying my $2. I can come in. Now, if I see you with 7 bottles, one may be mine, but I'm just saying I'm going to support you. I'm paying, but I support 100%. So I get that, because even our business, we've seen people come in and want a discount on the haircut.
Yes.
The haircut is only $10. Like,
It's
what
business.
discount am I going to give you on a $10 haircut? Like, for real.
People misconstrue personal relationship with business relationship.
No. Say that again.
People misconstrue personal relationship with business relationship, and that's where the dilemma comes in. Even with us, the profession we do, it sometimes, even people that you know for 10 years, 15, 20 years, they feel like, oh, Mark, I don't got 20 this week. Is that all right? Every now and then, but when you feel like you could keep doing it on a frequent basis, it becomes an issue, it becomes a problem.
And I don't think a person should ask that, because at the end of the day, this is how we pay our bill.
Exactly.
This is how we pay our health insurance. You have one from your from your boss. We don't. So I relate to that, because I've had a client that don't speak to me because she came in and got her hair done. She was going through something. She used to be a regular client, and she got her hair extensions, and I provide the hair, and she got her hair done. So, Mark, that wasn't cheap.
Yeah, exactly.
Then she didn't come in for about months, and I'm asking, I didn't say anything. I know she going through stuff, none of my business, but I did her hair for free. Then you post on Instagram, you got a Louis Vuitton shoes. You got a Louis Vuitton shoes.
That's what they do.
And then, anyway, 2 years after, I text her and remind her about my money. And she was mad at me that I text her. She said to me, how dare you? She said, how dare you ask me for a couple $100? And I said, how dare you sit in somebody's chair and didn't have the audacity to pay for your hairstyle?
Right.
So you've been there, and you understand that people don't know the real deal of what we actually go through, but that's actually one of the...
Yeah, they have no consideration. They think about themselves. They think about themselves. And, for us as barbers, people try to downplay barbers, hairstylists, because that's not a real job. And I've been in conversation, heated debates about that where I lost my cool. You know, everybody who knows me, I'm a hothead, so I've lost my cool.
Okay, we're gonna need you not to be a hothead, but go ahead.
I've lost my cool. You know what I'm saying? Over things like that, because it's like it's just a principle. Because I can't come to your job and feel like do what I want to do. You know, everything is principle. And
Principle first.
Yeah, principle first. And I realize a lot of people nowadays, they live their life without principle. You know, and I realize with them doing that, that's why their lives are the way they are, because they don't have no values, no morals, no principle. And this is why they live a carefree life. They don't care. They care about themselves. They're self. They're all about for self.
About self. So I'll ask you this question: what has been your favorite job? Have you had many, or what has been your favorite job?
Well, in my past life, you know, I was a musician. Yeah.
Oh wait, I didn't know that one.
Yeah.
Music. What kind of music?
I was a musician. I used to play the organ.
Oh.
I used to play
Can
the
you
bass.
teach me?
I used to play the bass guitar.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, I really do want to play the bass. Like for real, that's one on my bucket list.
I played.
You
I
did?
used to play the four string bass, and I used to play. I played the drums.
Who are you?
The jack of all trades. Yeah, I'm the jack of all trades.
So you've done that.
Yeah. Anything with my hand, as far as just using my hand.
So how did you get into cutting hair? Like, why did you decide to cut hair? I mean, I think I asked you before, but I'll ask you again. Because I got to figure out how you get from playing a couple of my favorite instruments, the bass, and I can't play it. The piano, I can't play it. To cutting hair.
It was solely, like I said, just growing in that life.
Yeah, you did say that.
My uncle's been a barber for, I want to say. He's been a barber about 22, 23 years. So, as a matter of fact, you know, he's the one that brought me into it. And having, like I said, older cousins, you know, so I just took it up one day, and I tried to line somebody one day. I think it was one of my cousins.
And you did you put a hairline back in?
No. I actually did it very sharp, and my cousin liked it and loved it. I said, I'm gonna give it a chance, and from there I just got to it. And I saw I was making serious money, and I said, this is something I could do as a profession.
I like that.
And here I am.
I like that. What's been your least favorite job then? I don't have a lot of favorites.
I don't have a lot. I mean, as of right now, cutting hair and, you know.
And the promotion is what you do.
Is what I do.
So that's me too. I can't say I have a least favorite job, because this is I've been a hairstylist most of my life, because I always say to people, I'm telling myself on the podcast, I was going to be a nurse. I'm a dental assistant. I do a lot of things. Like I have a lot of certification.
Yeah.
Legal certification. I did go to school for them. But this is the one thing I could get up in the morning and do. This is the one job that I'll be frustrated, tired, and you could call me in the morning and I do. So for me, doing hair, being a hairstylist, is not a job.
Yeah, it's not.
Because I believe a job is something you work at. I don't work at being a hairstylist. I'm a hairstylist.
Yeah.
So it's not a job for me. People say, well, that's your job. I don't have a job. I don't work. I don't have a job. Yeah. I do passionate stuff. I do clients, but I don't have a job. So I know that's the same for you, because we've had this conversation off camera. But with that saying, what's your why though? Why is Mark? Why does Mark work so hard? And I like to ask young men like you, what's your why? Because other young men need to understand that they have to have a why. So what's your why?
For me personally, especially being a young black man in America, you have to establish yourself on a certain platform, because, you know, for us as black men, you know, we weren't born with a spoon in our mouth. So we have to really go out there and get it the way we want, especially knowing that if you have a family and you have some responsibilities, and, you know, just basically setting goals, you know, not trying to cheat your way out of life, as far as, you know, doing anything that's going to jeopardize your future. Actually working hard and thriving for a better future for you, yourself, you know, your kids, your significant other, family members. You know what I'm saying?
So your why is your family, your kids, your your
that's
future.
That's the motivation.
That's your motivation, and I like that because, this is hard times for us, and it's hard times for a lot of people here, and sometimes, we don't take advantage of it. But let me ask you a fun question: if you win $1 million, how would you spend it? That's a good question.
To be honest with you, if God was to allow that to happen to me right now,
10 million, not a million. Excuse me. Let me correct that. $10 million.
I would only take out, and I kid you not, I would only take out $1 million. I would buy a house for.
No, you're gonna need more than $1 million. You live in New York, bro. Come on, let's correct that.
No, it wouldn't be New York. I would buy a house.
Okay.
I wouldn't say. I'm not gonna say where, but I would buy a house. For my mother, a house for myself.
$3 million.
My kids,
$4 million.
Mom and myself. And I would create a fund for my grandparents, my father, my mother, and I would give a little 20,000, 50,000 here and there.
But Mark, I have some bad news for you.
That's out of that.
The bad news is that you're gonna need more. You're gonna need to keep more than $1 million. So you're gonna keep 5, and you're gonna donate the rest. The Jobs Foundation is always available.
Of course.
So donate some.
Of course.
But you're gonna need more than $1 million. I'm just saying.
But that's just the immediate thing I would do. People get the money and they squander it. Listen, me, I'm big on budgeting. I'm big on budgeting. I'm big on saving. So yes, I would definitely, take out $1 million first and do that, and then over a long period of time, I would definitely give back to certain charities. I would even try to build even a homeless shelter, or something that would take people off the streets, create jobs, little jobs where people can actually work.
Can I tell you something?
What's that?
I'm getting it together. Your purpose is bigger than you think it is. I can't do this podcast. So I gotta tell you this. Oh my God, what is wrong with me?
Oh, come on, Claudette.
It's really bigger than you think it is. And I can't understand it. I gotta just tell you. It's really bigger than you think it is. Yeah. And God has a special place because you are misunderstood. I'll put my glasses on so I don't probably look crying on it. You're misunderstood, and I think too you have to figure out what your real purpose is.
No, I know my purpose.
Okay, and I don't want you to repeat it.
Yeah, I know my purpose.
I just need you to start walking in it.
Yeah.
Because you're afraid of your purpose, we all are.
Yes, I am.
Don't answer me. Don't let them know I'm right. But I'm gonna say this: you are. I misunderstood you, and one of the first questions I asked you was, "What is one thing? How are you misunderstood?" And that's one way you're misunderstood, right? Because people think you're just Mark, the promoter. Mark, you're much deeper than that.
They label
and I like
it's
people
just
that's deeper than that.
Yeah.
They look at. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you a story. I was in a conference this week, right? Stop that. I was on a conference. Stop that live. I was on a conference this week, right? And my conference this week was with a couple guys. And it was with a boxer. And I always looked at this boxer and I always say, gosh, he always be throwing money and that's all he do. He has a lot of money and he wasted it. But I'm going to share something with you. The most powerful interview conference. It's like I do these powerful inspirational conferences. I'm going to hook you up on this. It was with Grant Cardone and it's GoPro. It's some stuff I do.
Yeah.
And the boxer was sitting there talking, right? Which boxer you think it is? Floyd Mayweather.
That sounds like him.
Is one of the most inspirational person that I've ever had. And Emmett Smith was on that same same thing. So it was Emmett Smith one day, Floyd Mayweather another day, Stormy Wellington this way. So this is why I'm a little bit messed up. So just forgive me. Because I'm filled with some powerful people that just pour into me. And Floyd Mayweather explained some stuff to me. If you don't do anything in your life, he needs to write a book. Yeah. No, he really needs to write an inspirational book, because I had him all wrong. And I say that to say is that a lot, even Emmitt Smith, I look at Emmitt Smith as a football player. He played, because my other half didn't think I knew who Emmitt Smith was, right? But I do know Emmitt Smith. And so when we were on the thing, I'm listening, I'm like, these people have purpose. Mm-hmm. Floyd, I mean, I did say 50 Cent, but 50 Cent he's a genius. He's actually real smart.
He's a cancellation.
You know, a lot of people don't understand how smart. Everything you do is with intention, right?
Yes.
Floyd Mayweather needs to write a book. Mm-hmm. You know what? I'm going to put that in my chat tomorrow on my last final class. He needs to write a book. And I don't think he wants to, because where he is and the stuff that I've learned, I just had a whole thing talking to you. And I'm going to ask you this question, because I think Floyd needs to write a book. If you have to write a book, what would be the name of your book? If you have to write a book, what would be the name? Because it's a good book.
Coming to terms with your real identity.
Coming to terms with your real identity. You know, can I use that topic for a podcast?
Yeah.
Can we write that? No, I'm dead serious.
Of course.
I'm not going to steal your book idea. I just need that topic. No, because a lot of us lives. Oh, darn. Were you on the class? A lot of us live with like a whole sheet over our head. Mm-hmm. You know, we live and we worry about what other people are thinking. And I'm sitting here having this podcast with you, this conversation with you, and I'm hearing you talk about different things. And I'm saying, is this Mark having this conversation? So coming to terms.
Misunderstood.
Say the whole.
Coming to terms with your identity.
Coming to terms with your identity. Mm-hmm. What is your identity, you think? How would you be identified? I don't mean that way. What's your identity?
My identity is a man of God. Knowing that through him all things are possible. That's the best way I could put it.
I'm going to tell you, I can't, but Mark, the last thing I thought, you were going to get me emotional. But I had to like cut you off a little bit, because I'm so sorry for doing that. Because you're getting me teared up.
Don't apologize.
And I appreciate you for coming. Mm-hmm. I thank you for answering. I never call you and you turn me down, actually. So exactly. I thank you for your yes. Mm-hmm. I thank you actually for your why. Mm-hmm. And I want to tell you I appreciate you. And I appreciate what you're about to do. Mm-hmm. Not what you're doing, but what you're about to do. Mm-hmm. What's your information? I know you have a lot of parties and stuff going. How can we support you?
You could keep in contact with my Instagram at Mark the Barber. Mark _ the DABBARBER _ and my Facebook is Mark the Barber.
And that will have all the upcoming events, including my birthday party that he's going to throw in December.
Yeah,
absolutely. Don't worry about it.
Absolutely.
Oh, I'll be in Paris. Anyway. So, but Mark, I appreciate you for coming. Yeah, I thank you. This was such a good interview. Yeah, thank you so much, and I appreciate you. Anytime. But I want to tell you one thing too. Stay your course. Keep doing what you're doing, and keep God first, the way you're doing.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.